Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're doing something a little different, really practical.
We
We're
are.
taking a deep look at, well, a day in the life, and we are pulling out the ultimate cheat sheet for anyone looking to gain confidence and, sound completely natural in English.
That's right. And our mission today is really for you, the learner. We dove into this source document about a character named Lucy, but we're not focused on grammar books or what she studied.
Yeah.
We're tracking her instant mastery of language in real time, how she uses these practical, everyday expressions in all these different situations.
It's so much more than a vocabulary list. It's almost like a manual for human interaction. We're going to follow Lucy from her self-talk first thing in the morning all the way to her evening reflections. And we identify 14 key phrases that she just sort of absorbed. And what she found was that these weren't just filler words. They were actual tools to connect, comfort, and communicate.
Right. And what's genuinely insightful here is how these phrases work as, like, cognitive shortcuts.
What do you mean by that?
Well, they condense a whole paragraph of explanation, a philosophical idea, an emotional state, a warning into just a few words. And that rapid delivery of meaning just makes communication so much more efficient for everyone.
Okay, so let's dig in. Let's start with Lucy's day, and we begin with the morning kickstart. It's early, she's a little tired, but she's determined.
And our first conversation is with herself. It's all internal, about setting her own mental pace.
I think we all know that feeling.
We do, and there's this tension there right away. Despite feeling tired, she wants maximum output. So her very first thought, a command to herself, was, I need to hit the ground running today.
That phrase is so visual, isn't it? It just paints this picture of starting at high speed immediately.
It does.
If you try to say that another way, like I need to start my day immediately with high efficiency, it just falls flat. It doesn't have that same punch.
Exactly. It's immediate and motivating. But then here's the balance. Right after that, while she's brushing her teeth, she reminds herself, slow and steady wins the race.
I love that contrast.
Yeah.
Because she's acknowledging that pressure to be productive with hit the ground running.
Yeah.
But then she immediately applies this filter of sustainability
That's it.
with slow and steady. For you, the listener, this is that aha moment about managing your own workflow. Start strong, sure, but remember that long-term success requires rhythm, not just a frantic sprint.
The lesson isn't contradiction, it's integration. Real performance needs both. You need the fast start and the endurance. And Lucy just expressed that whole concept in, 8 words?
Okay, so here's where the language moves from inside her head to the outside world. She steps outside, and the phrases become interactive, shaping her social encounters.
And the first exchange is, very forgiving. Her neighbor, Tom, greets her with, better late than never,
Right.
which is such a great phrase. It's a little bit of a tease, but it's also permission to just get started. And for Lucy, it worked as a catalyst. She realized she'd been procrastinating, and this phrase just let her move on without any guilt.
And it's interesting how quickly the conversation pivots from that kind of pleasantry to some pretty deep social commentary.
It really does.
Tom then uses that classic, you can't judge a book by its cover, talking about a new coworker everyone misunderstood.
And that one phrase does so much work. It's a cultural signal. When you use it, you're not just saying, don't be prejudiced. You're tapping into the shared understanding about perception. It's complex commentary in a 4-second soundbite.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. And Lucy's reply is so real. She laughs and says, that's easier said than done, which instantly adds depth to their chat. It validates how hard it is to actually live by that principle of being non-judgmental.
It's the perfect tool for showing empathy. It says, I get it, I agree with the idea, but I also recognize it takes real effort.
But then her language shifts, again, from just commentary to immediate action. They see a stray dog near the road.
Right.
And Lucy uses the phrase, don't worry, I've got your back, as she guides the dog away. That phrase wasn't just a promise, it was an active commitment in that moment.
That's the utility right there. In just a few minutes, we've gone from procrastination to social judgment to active support, all of it facilitated by these simple, powerful phrases.
So as Lucy continues into the park, she starts reflecting on some bigger ideas, some broader values.
Yeah, the phrases become tied to her own kind of ethical framework. Her internal monologue centers on authenticity. She thinks to herself, actions speak louder than words.
Which is a great self-check, isn't it?
It's a great self-check. It reminds her to focus on actually helping people, not just talking about her goals. It's a filter against hypocrisy, really.
And she puts that into practice immediately.
Hmm.
She sees a little boy struggling to fly a kite, and when it crashes, she doesn't give him a long lecture about failure. She just offers this simple encouragement.
Yeah, she says, every cloud has a silver lining.
It's so effective.
It is. It's why these phrases are so sticky. They turn disappointment into optimism in an instant. It's a quick, comforting way to reframe something negative.
I mean, imagine trying to say, even though this bad thing happened, there's always a positive aspect to find. A kid's eyes would just glaze over.
Exactly. Too much information.
So if we just pause here, the morning alone shows how incredibly efficient these tools are. 6 phrases. That's hit the ground running. Slow and steady wins the race. Better late than never. You can't judge a book by its cover. Easier said than done. And every cloud has a silver lining. That was enough for her.
Enough to navigate her own motivation and handle some pretty complex social dynamics, all before she even had lunch.
So the day continues. And this is where Lucy really starts applying these lessons.
Yes, she moves from that sort of self-reflection in the park to practical application. We see her in the library using these phrases as tools for strategy, for building patience, and for empowering other people.
Okay, let's look at the strategy part first. She's planning her projects, and she remembers her friend's advice, which is don't put all your eggs in one basket.
This is the ultimate tool for risk management. I mean, think about the financial advice packed into that one metaphor. It covers everything from investing to career planning. If you had to explain diversification without that phrase, you'd need a whole chapter.
Right, but she uses it to instantly structure her plan. Multiple strategies, not one fragile path.
Precisely. And that speed is so important, especially when dealing with stress.
Which brings us to the next point. She sees an anxious student before an exam.
And she doesn't need to be a psychologist. She just uses the simple, calming command, take it easy.
It's instant de-escalation.
That's what it is. It acknowledges their anxiety and gives them a simple, actionable thing to do. Calm down. It just lowers the tension in the room.
Then she runs into a friend who's frustrated with a big work project. And Lucy comforts her with a phrase that's all about patience and perspective.
He says, Rome wasn't built in a day.
So powerful.
It is, because it validates the friend's frustration while also normalizing the timeline. It's a historical analogy everyone gets, and it immediately resets expectations from, I need this done now, to good things take time.
And then, to move her friend from just complaining to actually doing something, Lucy uses this crucial phrase for decision-making, she says.
The ball is in your court.
Which is a perfect example of transferring responsibility, but in a good way.
In a great way. It's empowering. By using that sports metaphor, Lucy is saying, I've helped you, I've listened, but now you have the agency. You have the power to make the next move. It encourages action, not just waiting around.
This whole section just brilliantly shows how these common sayings cut right to the point, especially in moments of high stress or uncertainty. You don't need a long speech.
That's it. One phrase can provide the entire structure for what to do next.
Yeah.
That's true mastery using language to actually influence outcomes.
Okay, so moving to the final leg of the day. The focus shifts a bit here to internalizing all of this and using it in just simple, everyday moments.
Right. And the source notes that Lucy is very committed to this. She actually repeats the phrases to herself on the way home, which connects directly to you, the listener, and your goal of quick acquisition.
Her inner thought is literally,
practice makes perfect. It confirms that repetition is key. You have to do it so these tools become natural and you can access them under pressure.
And speaking of natural, the smallest changes are often what matter most. At the coffee shop, instead of fumbling with the menu, she uses a really simple phrase.
She says, I'll have what you recommend.
It seems so minor.
It seems minor, but it's a huge step towards fluency. It shows trust, it communicates ease, and it avoids that awkward silence of indecision. It's a social lubricant.
She keeps using these phrases for practical help, too. She helps her neighbor with groceries, and when they lift a heavy bag, she says,
Better safe than sorry.
Which is risk mitigation in 2 seconds. It's a shared understanding that an extra moment of care prevents a bigger problem later.
And finally, she reassures another neighbor who is stressed out about some complicated bills. She tells him, it's not rocket science.
I love that one.
It's the ultimate tool for demystification, right? It takes something that feels overwhelmingly complex and just collapses it into manageable steps.
So if you connect all of this to the bigger picture, her day shows that these expressions cover everything, from personal motivation to social bonding to practical in-the-moment advice.
She recognized she had learned 14 core phrases, but the source is it was actually about 20 high-impact tools in just one day.
That's a massive communicative leap, just from paying attention to context.
Absolutely. And her final realization, which is the core takeaway for you, is that these phrases weren't just words. They were essential tools for human connection, for comfort, and for communication. They let her participate in her life, not just watch it. And that participation is what drives fluency.
And that ties directly back to that larger learning philosophy. The whole day reinforces that idea. Small steps every day lead to big improvements. It's not about memorizing the dictionary.
No.
It's about mastering the high-frequency tools that give you the maximum impact.
It's all about efficiency and communication.
So, considering Lucy's whole experience, the internal self-talk about patience, the empathy she showed to her neighbor, the practical advice she gave her friends, which of those situations offers you the most immediate opportunity to practice a new tool and transform your own communication tomorrow morning? Find one phrase, use it, and just feel that fluency click into place. We'll see you next time on The Deep Dive.